It is that exciting time of the year again, award season, the Grammys, the SAG Awards, the BAFTA Awards, and the Oscar buzz is filling the air. Who is the winner going to be? I have a sneak preview. I'm going to take a look, and I'm going to tell you that the winner is... What? YouTube? The winner is YouTube? Well, I guess that makes sense because the future is the internet. And I'm sure that one of the future filmmakers we're going to see on the red carpet is YouTube filmmaker Danny Girl 000 from Oklahoma, a young girl with a lot of promise. Anyway, she's tagged me. Well, what does that mean? If you're not a YouTuber, you don't know. If you are a YouTuber, you should know. It means I've been tagged and I have to give 5 random facts about myself and then tag 5 other YouTubers. So, before we get started, we can't do award season without asking, who are you wearing? Well, of course, I'm wearing Sharon A. Fox jewelry. I wouldn't be wearing anybody else's jewelry. Are you kidding? I wouldn't be passing up a blatantly crass plug like that. I'm no dummy. Anyway, so in honor of Oscar season, I'm going to do 5 tag facts with an Oscar theme. Number 1. Years ago when I was a high school student, a moment in Oscar history changed my life forever. It's when Marlon Brando's name was called. He was supposed to receive his Best Actor Oscar, and instead he sent an ambassador for an issue that he really cared about. At the time, the FBI had circled a reservation called Wounded Knee. They'd cut off all the food, they'd cut off electricity, all kinds of supplies, and they were in threat of being basically incinerated by the FBI. This would have been a Waco, were it not for a wake-up call that a Native American named Sasheen Littlefeather brought to the Oscars and brought to the world. She was condemned for this action, and yet she helped save hundreds of lives. She was my hero, and from then on I said, I'm going to be brave and I am going to tell the truth as I see it. And it really helped me to overcome some of my stuttering. I still have it sometimes. It might be in this video. But anyway, years later, I discovered she was my neighbor and we're the dearest of friends. And I was so thankful to be able to say how much I appreciate what she did for my life and what she did for the people at Wounded Knee. Number 2. Another one of my heroes, a person who had such profound impact on my life, was what I feel is the Oscars' best host ever, Johnny Carson. When I was a kid and I was a stutterer and I used to take notes of all the talk show hosts and, what are their secrets to talking with such ease? And so he was a mentor and a teacher of mine before I ever even met him. And years later, lo and behold, he was my neighbor in Malibu, and we became very good friends. And his emotional and spiritual support really gave me a courageous foundation to go forward and put my own production company together. And just weeks ago, it was the 3rd anniversary of his passing, so I hope to put a tribute up there. Maybe I can do that before Oscar time, but even to this day, his inspiration and support continues to have an impact on my life. Number 3, another hero of mine who had a profound effect on my life is no stranger to Oscar, George Lucas. Around the same time that Johnny Carson was my neighbor and I was trying to figure out what direction I would take, will I work with another production company? I was also, at that time, during this sabbatical between producing educational television and starting my own production company, I was the chef for the former president of the American Restaurant Association. So I was being offered restaurants. People were trying to steal me all around the world as their personal chef. And one person I did have an interview with was George Lucas. And although it was not the right match, 2 things occurred. He referred me to Steven Spielberg. So obviously he thought highly enough of me to refer me to Steven, and I had a great interview with Steven. But I got this letter from George Lucas that changed my life. It was that kind of letter that you wish your father had sent you. It said, he really enjoyed the interview and that he just felt that I would succeed at anything I put my attention to. And that was my sacred talisman. So with Johnny's emotional support and this sacred talisman, I said, it's time for me to put my own dream together. And anyway, I am so forever grateful. Number 4, another giant hero in my life is a man named Howard Koch. Howard won an Oscar for co-writing Casablanca. He also wrote the script for the radio version of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds. What people don't realize about Howard, he was a great patriot and a great writer, and I had the privilege of working with him and the amazing honor of being asked to help him write a prequel and a sequel. It wasn't sanctioned by the studios, but that experience was so uplifting. And even though Howard has passed on, he continues to inspire me from the beyond. Number 5, and last but not least at all, not at all. In fact, one of my greatest heroes is the president of the Academy, Sid Ganis. When I was just a young whippersnapper, 22 years old, and my good friend Dave Prowse, who played Darth Vader, needed some help with publicity, and he needed to highlight these charities he was working on, and I stepped in and I got a phone call from this guy named Sid Ganis, and he said he was there to stop me or something like that. He says, we just don't want you tarnishing the Star Wars name. And so I kind of went through the itinerary, here are my intentions, this is the itinerary, this is a program I've set up for Dave. And Sid's on the other line and he's going, gee, this is really wonderful what you're doing, and how did you learn how to do that? And you're only 22 years old? My God, how did you learn how to do this? He goes, this is so classy. And listen, here are my phone numbers. He gave me like 3 different phone numbers. He said, you need any help with any of this? And he goes, listen, I'm there for you. The amazing thing is, that moment, he was always there for me, because you never forget something like that. And that's the kind of impact Sid has on people. And when he moved up here to be president of Lucasfilm, I introduced him to the people at the Mill Valley Film Festival, and he really put his energy behind that, and because of that, the festival took off. Anyway, Sid, you're my hero. I want to thank you so much, and I just so appreciate all my wonderful heroes. So, yay! Well, there you have it. My 5 fun facts about my 5 wonderful heroes. Anyway, you can take a look on the side here and see the 5 YouTubers I have tagged, and maybe someday we'll see them on the red carpet. You never know, because as you can see with my own life, dreams do come true. Thanks to my wonderful heroes.